one of the biggest mistakes as you go from IC to manager, or manager to director, or director to VP, depending on what part of the world you're in, is misunderstanding and getting seduced by equity. Right? Like Scott just laughed because he's like, he talks about this on a much more regular basis with people he coaches, but don't let that fool you, because there really is no money in that equity. You fight as hard as you can for more equity and as hard as you can for a bigger salary, because you will get fucked hardcore financially if you aren't choosing the right company or the right leadership. And believe me, between 9 months and 12 months, if things are going, don't be surprised when they decide to escort you out the door, because they don't want you to get your 25%. So, but as a manager, and I think I've learned more about this from Scott, because I've been out of management for so long. Like, the equity is not really there. You know what? Your equity as a manager is, if it's successful, you get to take the equity of that story and compound that interest more than the equity of the deal. So anyway, I don't know if Scott, if you want to chime in on that one or not. But
I mean, that's one of the things. That's one of the points of consideration, whether you should even take the job and get into it, and that story has been misrepresented so many times for so many years, right? It's like, we're going to give you 10,000 shares and you're going to be a millionaire. Have you ever stopped and done that math? Yeah, that's not going to work, right? So really just making sure people understand that. And there are big time sales leaders out there that I know, and I'm sure some of you know. You would be shocked and blown away how little equity they got for building whatever company they were that early head of sales for, or the mid-stage, growth stage kind of VP of sales. So you really need to understand like that game. And at some point, if you're lucky, you get an event of some kind. But it's about all these other things along the way. And if you want to have a successful stint as a VP of sales, like, you got to build this foundation that we're talking about. That's why so many companies get to, $1, $2, $3, $4 million in revenue and then die off and stall out, and they're just flat because they can't replicate that early success. Everything's locked away in people's brain and they can't go backwards.